Hey guys, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel MTS. He makes great tutorials on how to clean your shoes and he just makes all out good content. So make sure you go ahead and check out his channel. And as always, enjoy the video. Alright, just to clarify, this story is really irrelevant to everyone who hasn't seen the first part, so I'll link the first original video of this story in the description for everyone to see. And yeah, enjoy the video. So, where we left off was when everyone was leaving the rec room and forming kind of like a group line into the camp, because the rec room is right at the entrance of the camp, and they were kind of just forming an L shape and just going into the camp, because the camp is this long plot of land that protrudes out into the forest. And at the end of the camp, the very end, because the camp's like really long and not that thick, it kind of just like gradients. It's kind of like a gradient, and the forest just ever so slightly gets thicker and thicker until it's just basically just forest. But the sides of the camp is basically just a plain forest line, just really thick forest. So yeah, and on that long, thin plot of land, that's where the cabins are built on. So everyone is forming like a group line, and it's kind of like a downhill slope. The entire camp is kind of like a downhill slope. That's where the clearing of the forest is, and that's, you know, all the cabins are built there. So everyone is just going down, and that's me and Evan as well. So yeah, we go down into the cabin area, and our cabin is at the very back of the camp, like the very, very back. Like it was probably the farthest away from any other cabin, I'd say. And it's definitely kind of like in the furthest point of the camp, like behind it, it was just basically forest. It was basically just forest. And it was kind of creepy, especially considering what had just happened to us. Actually, nothing really had happened to us, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about. If you watch the first video, that is. But yeah, you should have if you're watching this. Otherwise, I don't know what the freak you're doing here. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So what happened was we go to our cabin, and like I said, there's 2 cabin groups per cabin. So therefore, there's 2 rooms per cabin. I'm pretty sure this was the layout of all the cabins, but I don't know. I could be wrong. So you walk in, and then there's kind of like entrance zone of the cabin. And straight in front of you is a door, and that's the bathroom. And then on the sides of that door is kind of like these shelves where everyone put their stuff. And then directly to the left and right, there are these 2 doors. All right, the left door is the left room. That's where my cabin group was, and the right is where the other cabin group was, and that's where all the other bunk beds were. So each cabin group had their own room, and in each room there was like 3 bunk beds, and me and Evan were in different bunk beds. There was like, I believe, other than me and Evan, 2 other people in our cabin group. I had one bunk bed placed along the furthest wall of the cabin, so right next to the window. It's a really small window. It's like 2 feet by 1 foot tall, and there's blinds on it. And we only left like one half of it open because it was kind of like divided into 2 halves, right? So yeah, the bunk beds in the cabin. So I was the only one occupying my bunk bed. There was no one in the lower bunk bed than me. Okay? And Evan was the only one occupying his bunk bed. And then directly across the room on the other side of the wall, it's kind of like the interior wall that's right next to the bathroom wall, were two other cabin mates which shared their bunk bed. And yeah. So at this time, we came into the cabin and we realized that the back door of the cabin was broken. It wasn't broken, but it was like the lock was broken. And we checked out the lock, and it was like, I don't even know. It looked like it had been broken like with blunt force, like as if like a tree or log hit it somehow. I don't know. But the door wasn't open, so there's no sign of anyone like breaking in and being in there, because no one's stuff was touched or anything. But the lock definitely looked like it was manhandled by something. So that kind of creeped us out, especially considering what had happened to us earlier, I was kind of flipping out because I realized that the door was no longer able to lock, and the back door of the cabin was on our side of the cabin. Like, on the other side where the other cabin group was, there was no back door. The back door was in our cabin. Our cabin group, I guess. I was suggesting that we should put, like, some sort of chair or something there. Like, I didn't want to seem like a Bigfoot freak or something, or, you know, like a scared of ghosts or some crap like that, because that's what I would probably come off as being if I were to say anything else than that. But I said, you know, can't we just, like, barricade it or something? Because, I mean, after what I just went through literally 30 minutes ago, I don't feel safe sleeping in this room with a door that's completely unlocked. Especially considering the lock looked like it was manhandled by something. So, you know, they were like, nah. At this point, my principal comes into the room because, I think we were causing some ruckus earlier. That was me and Evan. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if our voice boxes were still permanently damaged, even up to this day from that very night. Like, I don't even kid you. That is how loud we were yelling. So, our principal, I'm just gonna name him Enrique. So Enrique, we call our principal and our teachers by their first name because we thought it was more practical. So Enrique comes into our room and he's like, all right, so I've been hearing a lot of things that you guys have been yelling a lot, and by the way, that's saying something because we're the farthest cabin away from any other civilization in the entire camp, so we must have been yelling quite loud for us to have attracted some attention. Yeah, we're far out in the middle of nowhere, like literally the closest cabin towards us is probably maybe like 100 yards away from us. So yeah, we were yelling quite freaking loudly. So Enrique's like, so I'm going to sleep in this cabin just for you guys. And so our principal Enrique takes the top bunk of where my friend Evan was sitting, or not sitting, sleeping. So he sleeps in the top bunk of my friend Evan's bunk bed. And he's like, all right, it's 11:30. In 15 minutes, we're gonna go to bed. And I'm just like, okay. So we get ready for bed. At this point, even the camp counselors are coming in saying goodnight. And I don't even know where they slept, but the 11th grade camp counselors slept somewhere else in the campsite. We're pretty secluded from basically everyone, so it doesn't really matter. There's only about 5 people in our room now, 4 people in our group, and then just the principal sleeping in the top bunk. Just, I don't know, because kind of like we're being assholes. So he's like, all right, it's 11:45, it's time to go to bed. And I had wanted to go to bed like way earlier. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, we were so tired from yelling and stuff, and yeah. Anyways, so everyone is basically already asleep, and I can only imagine that, well, basically everyone in all the other cabins were already asleep or getting ready to go to sleep. So he turns off the lights, and everyone starts to fall asleep, except for me. I seem to be the only one who can't get my beauty sleep, because I definitely look beautiful in my sleep when I actually can sleep, which is not that much, especially when I'm in a bean bag. I am literally sitting on a bean bag with my sleeping bag, and that's radiating all my body heat, and it's getting so hot, and I can't even freaking stand it. But over time, it took me about an hour just to start getting tired. Even though I was tired, you know that feeling where you're just freaking tired, but no matter what, you just can't go to sleep. I hate that so much. That's what was going on. Finally, I start dozing off. It's about 12:30. I don't know. I had my phone, but I didn't check. And at this point, literally everyone is dead asleep, and there's no sound. It's just pitch black, and the only thing I could hear is the slight wind blowing through the window, which is cracked only halfway open. So yeah, I finally just slowly get to sleep. I wake up. All right, picture this. I wake up in the middle of the night. All right, I don't even know what time it is. I didn't even bother checking my phone because I didn't have time before I heard a very loud thump on the wall which I was placed on. Like a thump. Like, it sounded like it was coming from the inside of the cabin, and I was like, okay, what the hell? Is someone like playing a prank on me? And I swear I thought I was gonna hear it's just a prank, bro, like really loudly in 5 seconds, but I didn't hear anything. And then literally 30 seconds later, I heard another big thump, like something unhumanly possible, like as if someone threw like a 30-pound boulder against the wall. I felt the wall shaking, Okay, and I wasn't even touching the wall. Just the bunk bed was. Okay, and no one else was in my bunk bed. And if you guys remember, I was the only bunk bed facing the window. Okay, so the window was like right next to me, basically. So I'm like, okay, am I gonna look through these blinds and see like a fucking scary ass apparition going on outside? Am I gonna see Jeff the Killer or something? Like, I don't. I wait like 2 more minutes to hear another thump, and I don't. I hear like this dragging of something, like something dragging on the floor. Like, it's dirt, obviously, outside, and I hear like something heavy, almost like a small, I mean, kind of like a larger kind of rock. It sounds like that's being dragged across the floor. At this point, I'm like, okay, what the freak's going on? The door is unable to lock, and there is something outside, and I was being watched earlier yesterday, and it's probably very early morning, and I have no idea what's going on. I'm the only person awake in my freaking cabin, and I am just flipping the freak out. I'm about to have a panic attack until I tell myself, okay, just calm down. All right, there's like 5 people in this room. Okay, so if anyone comes in, I could just awake them easily, and then it's like 5-1, and there's no way they're gonna win. All right, whatever this thing is, axe murderer, a Jeff the Killer, freaking Bigfoot, grizzly bear, I don't freaking know. But I was just, so many things was going through my mind, and I finally just muster up the courage to freaking look out the window. I wish I didn't look out that window. I saw something moving in the woods. I saw something moving in the woods, and it's scary just to freaking talk about it. It was like, I don't even know to this day if my eyes were just playing tricks on me. I saw something running like in the opposite direction as my cabin into the woods, like frantically. Like, it was running away from something almost. Like, I didn't see what it was. I knew it was something that was like not a squirrel, not a bear. It was too small to be a bear. It wasn't a human. I don't even, maybe it was, I don't know. I don't like to think about it, but yeah. It was running into the woods, and I saw like some brush moving. And that was it. I just saw it kind of like disappear into the... It was pitch black. It was like probably 1 in the morning or something, maybe 2 in the morning. And I couldn't see anything other than that, except for whatever that thing was, that just dark apparition just kind of like disappearing into the forest line. And, you know, coming from something that I just felt like I was being watched like earlier that day. I mean, I guess it was yesterday, but I didn't even know what to think. I didn't know if this interlined with me being watched. I don't know if this was the person or thing that was watching us last night. I just don't know. There's so many things going through my mind. I'm just, at this point, I'm trying to evade having a panic attack, and that's all I saw. Like, after that, nothing happened. I didn't hear like footsteps. I didn't hear anything else other than that. I just saw that thing running away from the cabin into the woods, and then kind of like skipping through the forest line and then just disappearing. And that was it. And for the rest of the night, all I heard was wind. Like, just that, not even squirrels, not even any type of animal life traveling through the forest, you know, even causing the slight bit of sound at all. That's all I heard, just wind. Brustling through the trees a little bit, and that's it. Okay? And I woke up earlier. I mean, I didn't go to sleep the rest of that night, all right? I probably stayed up a good 3 hours. 2 hours after that, I mean, because for 2 hours I was trying to rehabilitate my mind, because I didn't even know what was going on. So, yeah. I finally ended up going to sleep at like probably 5 in the morning, and I got maybe at most an hour of sleep before they woke me up at 6. And, I never told anyone about this experience, because obviously they would just think I'm just being an asshole and lying to them. Because why would this kind of a story be real? I mean, this is kind of just like some stupid thing that you would hear from some 5-year-old on a field trip the first time in the woods or something. I don't know, but you could believe it or not. I don't really care, actually, but it's true. Like, this scared the hell out of me, and it still scares me recalling it. And it's definitely in the top 5, if not top 3 most scariest things that's ever happened to me. So yeah, that's the story, guys. I would be lying if I said that I heard footsteps outside that cabin earlier. After that, and ever since then, I've been hearing voices in my head, freaking knocks on the windows, because that's not true. That never happened. Unlike any other horror cliche. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to leave a like, and feel free to leave me some suggestions on what I can do in the next video, and yeah, goodbye.